Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Daily Animated Reviews, the channel where we talk about seasonal anime every episode. And today we are going to be talking about the newest episode, or at least when I'm watching it, newest episode of Fire Force, Season 3 Part 2, or just Season 3 in general, Episode 14. And I think I have come to an impasse with Fire Force overall. So this whole episode was talking about Benimaru and the previous boss from Company 7, I think it is, right? The company that Benimaru was about. And we get the backstory of how he is and how his boss is. And honestly, overall, episode was actually very decent. Visually, fucking great. Oh, the water. The way that they animated the water was cool. We got to see Benimaru fight, which is obviously animated so well. When it comes to the animation department, it's Studio David. We know what quality that they can bring. Their peak, and the animation for Fire Force has always been peak. I've never once questioned the animation for Fire Force. That should obviously be said. But I think it's more just story-wise, adaptation-wise, just the feeling with it. I'm at an impasse, and I don't know if I'm starting to dislike it, or if I'm not just trying to if I'm like at a point where I don't fully understand it. Because on one hand, and it's kind of adding on to what I added on the previous episode for the first part of part 2. But on one hand, yeah, Fire Force does have some good aspects. It has a lot of, like, really good storytelling. Like, in a vacuum, this backstory with Benimaru and the previous captain for Company 7 is really good. It's nice to know about their views and how they view each other and Nichiren and all that stuff like that. But it's more of just both the placement and the explanation. Like, why did he come back? What's the reason for him coming back? Obviously, there's stuff like Adola, right? But does him coming back mean that he's also a doppelganger? Is he part of the Adola link in some way? Does him killing him matter? Like, maybe you can argue that maybe I'm looking too much into it, right? And there could be that could be a valid criticism that I just might be looking too much into this and thinking too hard about it. But at the same time, I think a little bit of explanation is nice. Now, I think if I were to connect everything that I am connecting with, and to be fair about it all, the assumption that I am getting is that obviously they've already mentioned that the world of Adola and their world are slowly combining as the pillars are coming. So as more pillars come, the world is starting to fuse together, which means we're going to have these bleed overs of these demons that exist and whatnot. But it's kind of one of those things of like, why specifically the captain? Was the captain part of Adola? Does this whole Nichiren stuff have to do something with Adola? Does that also mean that Benimaru is the, like, Adola link? I don't remember if he was or confirmed. I don't think he was. I think it was kind of confirmed before that, in the first episode, there was an Adola linker that was awakened. And given the previous episode with Iris being able to use pyrokinesis at the third generation, I would assume that would be her. Right? Like, I'm not insane in the membrane to be assuming that, I feel. So, like, I don't know. Like I said it before, I feel like it's getting too messy. And I think I'm just getting into the impasse of whether it's just going to start to get frustrating or if I'm just genuinely confused. Because it feels, like I said, it feels weird putting this, especially if it's one episode and it feels like we didn't have much time to sit on it. I like the substance of it, but it's more of just like either needing more substance or having a better placement of this. If this feels too early, if this feels too late, I'm not 100% sure, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, I guess there is the context of Company 8 also wanted help, but Benimaru taking the fight on himself, which is fair. But again, I go back to why the captain showed up. Why did he decide to show up now? I assume he has to do with Adola, but why him specifically? Was he always in Adola? Is he connected to Adola somehow? I have so many questions. Now, it could be the fact as well that we could be getting questions answered later on, and maybe these are good questions that I'm asking. But it's one of those things I think my issue with it comes down to more of the sense of we're getting so close, and knowing that this is kind of the end makes me worried about how we're answering some of these questions and how we plan on answering some of these questions. It's, like I said, a little concerning, a little worrying. I'm a little skeptical about everything, so forgive me if I'm sitting there not really hyped over the fact that I'm trying to answer all these questions and whatnot. It's just a bit concerning, worrying, puzzling, in a sense, I'm not 100% sure. All I know is that I would like these questions to be answered. I would like these questions to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Addressed. I feel like addressed it feels right. I would like these to be addressed in a proper way. Hopefully down the road we can get something of substance, of substantialness, something that would make us happy. Again, I know they have to adapt a lot of episodes within a lot of chapters within 13 episodes, so there are many people who are not very confident that they could do that, even without reading the manga itself. Like I said, this already feels very messy in so many ways. It's kind of concerning, and I am definitely somewhat worried for how they plan on ending this, because it feels like they're either we need more time with this stuff, or we are leaving stuff out that feels necessary for the audience and the viewers to actually understand what's going on. But again, I will say Fire Force and all that have worked up a lot of good graces with us, so at the very least I do feel somewhat confident that they can end it. I'm willing to at least give it a chance. It has enough grace for me to at least give it a chance. I am worried. I am a little concerned, but I at least, there is at least still the grace period of, hey, this is like the first time I've really had any issues with them. Let's just let them cook. Let's hold judgment until everything is completely out. I'm going to have my comments in it here and there, and depending on how everything goes, I'll either progressively get more worried or less progressively get worried. We'll see how things go and turn out as they come. But yeah, that is episode 14 of Fire Force Season 3. Let me know if you guys liked it or hate it and how you feel about the season so far. We'll be back with more episodes as usual, so as always, make sure to catch all of those and then subscribe for more of the animes. We're talking about tons of animes this season, so go ahead and check that all out. My name is Mise, and I hope you have a wonderful day now. Bye-bye.